What's going on, everybody? My name is Michael Morel, and I'm going to be doing my ATC class presentation over airshow, air traffic control, but we're going to be mainly focusing on Oshkosh. So the FAA provides documentation and certain rules that the aviation event has to follow. So they put out rules regarding like air shows, air races, and flyovers, just to name a few. So the air show is issued a FAA certificate or waiver of authorization for an event that they have to follow all the rules and guidelines. Every act and demonstration must be okayed by the FAA and also the airshow hosts itself. And there are certain FAA aerial demonstration advisory circulars that the airshow has to abide with, and the pilots or demonstrators have to abide with on things like G-forces, hot air balloon operations, and sport parachuting. So just to get some little details about the air traffic control at Oshkosh, controllers rotate in shifts all around the air show, including the tower, Fisk approach, and mobile departure platforms. Controllers wear bright neon pink shirts to be visible on the flight line so they don't get hit by aircraft. Controllers work closely with other control stations like Milwaukee Tracon, which controls all the IFR arrivals into Oshkosh. And Oshkosh is known by the controllers themselves as the Super Bowl of air traffic control. So moving on to a little more information about Oshkosh Tower. During the week of Oshkosh, it becomes the busiest air traffic control tower in the world. Controllers work in 16 teams of 4 to reduce stress and make sure they don't miss anything. They also rotate between those teams of 4 so every controller gets a chance, nobody gets overstressed. Most of the time, planes won't land on the threshold. You'll be given a dot which will be painted on the runway, and the dot colors include purple, yellow, pink, blue, orange, green, and white. Once you land, you'll exit the runway, and you'll have controllers with the neon pink shirts on the ground, and they don't use radios or anything. They just direct you by hand, pointing which way you need to go, and they'll take you to where you need to park. Departures at Oshkosh are not handled by anybody in the tower. Departures are handled by guys on the ground on the departure end of the runway, or sorry, the approach end of the runway, and they're sitting on little carts like that with just radios and looking out over the planes that are getting ready to depart. Unlike normal ATC, you don't talk to these guys. They will tell you everything that you need to do. You don't respond or anything like that. So they'll know you heard them when you start moving or doing what they said. There's pretty much non-stop talking on this frequency by the controllers. And they will have multiple departures on the same runway, so someone will use the right side of the runway and someone will use the left side of the runway. They don't do them simultaneously, of course, but you'll use either one side of the runway or the other most of the time. Another big portion when flying into Oshkosh is Fisk approach, and this picture on the right hand side of the screen is Fisk approach. It's literally just a trailer in the middle of a cornfield. There is no tech or anything used at Fisk approach besides binoculars and a radio, and multitasking is very crucial because the controllers has to be able to talk and listen at the same time, because you'll have one guy screaming in your ear directions and the other guy talking on the radio, and you have to be able to make sure that you get those instructions clearly across to the pilot. Here's a couple pictures and video about Fisk approach. So you'll be holding just southwest of Ripon. Ripon, you'll enter and align your plane with the railroad tracks. You'll follow the railroad tracks all the way to Fisk, and at Fisk you'll break off into one of the 2 different approach corridors for either runway. In the middle, it's just a picture of arrivals into Oshkosh on a certain day. All of the blue triangles or turquoise triangles, those are all aircraft coming inbound to Oshkosh. And here's a little video I have of just the Fisk approach and how hectic it can get sometimes.
The aircraft behind you. The RV that's directly over Fisk now, directly over Fisk. Turn left, turn left, turn left, turn left, turn left, turn left. There you go. Thank you.
Oh, the other one's doing it. Let him do it too. That's fine.
Okay, and the accessory, the highway directly over Fisk. Start a right turn heading 270.
It's a tail dragger. It's not a
tail dragger.
directly over Fisk. Thank you.
That's right. Continue the left turn, heading 270. I've got a high wing or a low wing. That's clear for fish. I can start or continue up the tracks for the downwind of runway 27 inside the
Tri-pacer, the tri-pacer, turn right.
The pacer, turn right. Right, heading 120 to the east-west road. Good job.
Cirrus.
Cirrus, continue up the track, stay inbound for the right downwind of runway 27. Radial engine, start a right turn. Radial engine over fish, turn right, heading over. Yeah, sorry, yeah, for the Nanchang, turn right, heading 270. I'm sorry, right turn heading 090, enter left base for runway 36. There you go, good job. The Bonanza, just put it
Overall, pretty cool day. Really neat seeing how things work out at Fisk. Pretty low tech, but it works. 3 guys working in a team, or guys and girls, spotting airplanes, calling out the directions for those airplanes, directing them to which runways, and then 1 person working the radio and constantly rotating in and out, taking breaks. Really intense, and they do an amazing job staying calm through that whole thing. Huge bummer about the airplane.
That was just a quick informational video on Fisk approach. I thought it was really interesting to see how it works and how low tech it actually is. And I just want to thank everybody for watching and hope you have a great Corona break. Stay safe.